everyone, it's Alicia from Way to 3. I'm here with my first Trying to Conceive update, or my TTC update for cycle 10. My husband Eddie and I have been trying to conceive for, like I said, 10 cycles. Today is February 22nd, Sunday, so this video might go up on Monday, but that's the day I'm talking from today. Today is CD14 of my current cycle. I usually have, if I'm having a normal cycle, which means that it's not Provera induced at the end, usually my cycles are about 30 to 34 days long, from anywhere in between there. So I'm imagining that I should ovulate within the next 6 days, somewhere in there, hopefully, fingers crossed. Basically at this point in this cycle, I'm just waiting to ovulate. I'm taking ovulation predictors, or OPKs, usually every day around 4 o'clock is when I take them. That's one thing that we are doing this cycle, is using OPKs. The other thing that we are doing this cycle is hopefully baby dancing every day during my fertile window, which should start today, so hopefully we can aim for that. Sometimes it does not happen because, hello, this is life. It does not happen all the time. BDing is usually the acronym for that, so if I call it baby dancing, you know what that means. It means the fun part of having a baby. Also this cycle we are using a new supplement that I heard about on my blog on Tumblr. Someone had it recommended to them for their PCOS. I'm holding my arm like this because I'm going to pull over the box itself. It's called Pregnitude. It's a B vitamin and folic acid supplement. I think it's called myo-inositol, and basically that's just the fancy word for B vitamin in the supplement itself, and it's folic acid. And I take it twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. It's basically, you mix it into water, into 8 ounces of water, and then just drink it. It's awesome because it's totally tasteless, totally odorless, doesn't make my water taste funny at all, doesn't even feel like I'm doing anything. I have noticed so far taking it that there's not really any side effects for me, except for the fact that I've noticed my face has cleared up quite a bit. I had been having a little bit of hormonal acne, and ever since starting Pregnitude, it just kind of cleared up. I'm not sure if that's like this cycle or something magical about it. Not quite sure. Or maybe it's the extra water. No one knows. So we're baby dancing every day during my fertile window, hopefully. I'm using ovulation predictors, and I'm taking the Pregnitude. I also take a general prenatal vitamin every night before I go to bed. I've been trying to drink my raspberry tea. Hasn't been going that well because I don't love it, and when it sits on my desk at work, sometimes I forget about it. It's the supplement that's not been going very well this cycle. I try, just has not really been happening. So those are the things we're doing this cycle to increase our chances of being more fertile. I also am temping and charting the way I usually would. I also check my CP, or my cervical position, and my CM, my cervical mucus, every day. Also, who loves hearing about cervical mucus on YouTube? Raise your hand. That's me. I do. No one likes talking about it. So usually I'll just say the acronyms, CP or CM, if I talk about it at all. Usually I don't when I'm talking about my updates for Trying to Conceive, because no one likes that. If you're wondering what app I use, it's Kindara. I think that it's been the most, I tried for a while using Ovia, as well as the Glow app. I've also tried Fertility Friend. If there's an app out there for tracking your cycle, I've tried it. But personally, I like Kindara the best. I think it's the most clear-cut, accurate that I've worked with so far. Kindara has that tomorrow will be my ovulation day. The only problem is that ever since I miscarried last year, my ovulation days are way off, like way off, and no app out there gets it right ever. Hopefully this cycle I will not have to use Provera. You might have heard in my miscarriage story that I've had to use it a couple times now. I think it's 3 different cycles I've had to use it to induce a period when it never showed up. Hopefully that won't happen. My miscarriage was last June, and then my first period after that was in August using Provera. My September period was also using Provera. It did not come on its own. October's was normal, November's was normal again, and I was so excited about that, just super jazzed. And then December came, and once again, my period never showed, so I had to use Provera to induce. So that's where my last cycle started, was from using Provera. Hopefully this month will be different. One thing that I did differently in October and November that I didn't do in my December month were using a lot of supplements. I used pretty much nothing in December and used a lot of things in November and October. So this month we're trying again to use a lot of supplements and kind of seeing where it gets us. If it doesn't do anything, then I know that November and October were different for another reason. And if they do work, then I know that supplements are working on my body. I do have an ultrasound this coming Friday, and it's basically to rule out completely that I do or do not have PCOS. I've had all the blood work done. I don't have any other symptoms of PCOS, and all my blood work was normal. So the doctor is basically just doing an ultrasound to make sure that I don't have it. My fingers and toes and everything are crossed. I'm praying so hard that I do not have PCOS. I know that it's super normal for people to have it. That would do a lot of different things for our fertility journey, and I just am really hoping to come back with really clear ovaries. Basically, on my ultrasound, they'll check for how many follicles I have, if I have follicles. If I've ovulated by Friday, which I should, hopefully they'll be able to instead see a corpus luteum cyst on one of my ovaries, meaning that I have ovulated. If I am tracking and I see that I've ovulated and they don't see that, it means that my body was totally lying and told me I was ovulating and didn't, which is really rude. We also hope that does not happen. So basically they'll do the ultrasound, they'll check for the corpus luteum, a follicle count if I have follicles, since I haven't ovulated yet. That's pretty unlikely, but we'll see. They'll check the lining of my uterus to see how thick it's gotten. And hopefully that will also be really great. Hopefully my lining will be perfect for the day that I'm at in my cycle. They will also just make sure that after the miscarriage, nothing has stuck around. That's really highly unlikely, because usually if that would have happened, I would have had symptoms of an infection of some sort. I would have had a lot more serious complications. However, I had some weird, questionable stuff happen after my miscarriage with my body, and I am not fully convinced that it was completely resolved. So I guess we'll see. We'll see on Friday. This is my first follow-up ultrasound that I've had since miscarrying, and it's been 11 months. I can't even remember how long it's been. I mean, it's been since June 1st of last year. So I guess we'll just see. It's kind of my first inside look since all that went down, and so I'm really looking forward to it for that reason. I'm hopefully going to get a lot of answers from it. My next step, if that ultrasound does not show anything conclusive, if I don't end up having cysts and I don't have PCOS, is to request an HSG ultrasound to make sure that there's no blockages. I don't think there are, but like I said, my miscarriage was kind of weird physically. I don't feel confident that it went the way that it would naturally be supposed to have gone. So it would make me feel a lot better to have an HSG just to check and make sure everything's normal, and if anything, to hopefully flush things out completely. I've also heard a lot of people have success with getting pregnant after an HSG, because if they do have something that's just been making the uterus not ideal for life, it kind of fixes it. So that's kind of my next step if this ultrasound is normal. If the ultrasound comes back and I do have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, for those of you that don't know, trying to conceive lingo. If I do have PCOS after this ultrasound, our next step would probably be medication. I'm not sure whether or not my doctor would recommend metformin first. I am overweight. You all know that because we're doing Weight Loss Wednesdays. I am overweight, so I'm working on that pretty heavily to try and lose it. Metformin is a pre-diabetes drug, but it's also been shown to have success for people that have polycystic ovarian syndrome in reducing their symptoms and also making it easier for them to try and conceive. So if we don't go from the ultrasound to PCOS, or if we do go from the ultrasound to PCOS, I'll probably ask for that first to regulate my cycles and kind of help me with eliminating my PCOS symptoms. We'll kind of see how my doctor plays this. I'm not quite sure. She might go straight to Clomid or Femara, which are ovulation stimulation drugs, and that would basically just make my body ovulate against its will. I'm not opposed to doing that, but I kind of feel like maybe I should get my weight under control first before going to that point. Or maybe I will be really impatient and say, I don't care, I just want to have a baby, so give me all the drugs. I'm not quite sure what will happen if we get to that point, when we get to the drug conversation point. A lot of people have asked me where we go from there. I've had a lot of people ask like about our future plans as far as trying to conceive. If we find out we have PCOS, we'll try all the meds that I just listed first, probably metformin, followed by Clomid, followed by Femara. In that succession would be my choice of choosing those drugs. And it's a long process. Sometimes people get cysts from the Clomid and have to stop. Some people continually go and don't have any problem, and then they get pregnant and it's fine. Some people have to switch from Clomid to Femara or back and forth because one of them doesn't work and one does. So that's going to be a long process no matter what. I would imagine that that will be like a full chunk of like a year of life of medication. If none of that works, we'll probably move on to IUI. In that case, intrauterine insemination is what IUI stands for. And basically, it's not IVF in that the egg and the sperm do not meet prior to being in your body. It's basically like getting the sperm right to where they need to be in your uterus to implant the egg that's already dropping. Those are usually assisted by a ovulation stimulation drug like Femara or Clomid. So we'll probably go on to IUI after the medication rounds, if we had to have it, followed by, of course, the granddaddy of them all, IVF, if none of that worked. And that would be like the routes we would take. So we won't jump straight from finding out we have PCOS to doing IUI. We still have a long road of medication ahead of us if we do find out we have PCOS. After IVF, if IVF doesn't work, we're kind of open to a lot of things. Even prior to finding out we were having infertility struggles, both my husband and I are really interested in adoption. We have a huge heart for children everywhere. I have not met a child I do not like. So I basically am open to growing our family in whatever way we can. I'm also really open to surrogacy, if that was part of our road. We've had a friend offer to carry for us if that was ever our intention. So we have a really long list of things that we're open to trying and we're available to as far as like where this journey goes from here. Since I haven't done a trying to conceive update before, I wanted to throw all that in there because I think it's important to know what someone's plan is when you're learning about their trying to conceive journey. A lot of people have different views on it and will or will not do a lot of what I listed. We basically will do anything to have a baby. And yeah, if you guys have questions or want to share your journey with me, you can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram. A lot of the stuff that will be coming up, I'll start posting other places as well. I also will post my Tumblr link with my actual blog. I post a lot of my trying to conceive journey there just so I don't clog up other social media with words like cervical mucus because no one wants to hear about that on Facebook. If you're talking about it on Facebook, you probably shouldn't be. Love you, probably shouldn't be talking about it. And that's it. So cycle day 10, CD14, big prayers out there for me to ovulate and for this to be our only trying to conceive update. That would be great. Unlikely. But that would be awesome, right? No one knows. Anyway, thanks guys.